Hello, Let's Play Read here. Welcome back to some more Destiny 2, and today we're doing it, ladies and gentlemen. It's been some time, and I've been needing to talk about this, but it's finally god-dang happening. We're talking about Heresy. My lovely little reviews that I do for every single season, for every single DLC, for every single everything. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the one, the only Heresy review. And as this is being, allegedly, the last episode out of this entire year, and potentially the entire lifetime of Destiny, but out of the entire year, the last episode for the year of the final shape, this actually was not that bad of a goddamn episode. I really don't know what to say about it. Echoes kind of left us feeling a little empty, to be honest with you. Act 1, 2, and 3 gave us great content, great storytelling, plenty of side quests, and overall just felt great. It just felt like a big old slap to the face to be advertised as the episodes were none more than, and I quote, wrapping up loose ends. The hell loose end did we have to wrap up that required us to literally learn and introduce a brand new fucking character as a brand new goddamn goal, and then just have them sop the fuck off? How? How is that wrapping up a loose end? That is introducing a new character for a new villain for a new bullshit that we're going to have to deal with it sometime else the next 10-year saga. But overall, episode Echoes wasn't bad. And then there was fucking Revenant, which was horrible. It gave us activities that were relatively okay, fun, not really too demanding, but they weren't really rewarding because they fucked up the reward system. And then they basically came out with the tonic system as they butchered and killed crafting. God damn it. What the fuck? And then at the end of all that, they somehow actually concluded storylines in Revenant. Somehow after Act 1, 2, and 3 had barely any side missions, had any genuine interest in the main story mode, you actually mean to tell me legitimate storylines got finished up with? Mithrax is the Kell of Kells. Aramis somehow has been chosen as the Kell of Kells, but she decided to say, fuck it, I'm leaving the solar system, including all of my crew, just because why not? I'm going back to Reese to rebuild that shit. And then, what's the last guy standing? Oh yeah, you know, just Fickrul the Fanatic. He's dead! The father of the motherfucking Scorn is dead and left this existence with some beautiful last words. That meant that he was a psychotic motherfucker, but he was a psychotic motherfucker that was true to his goddamn words. That was true to his core when his final words were, and I quote, "Who will save my children?" Fuck, that's good! That, my friends, is some good goddamn storytelling! Fuck yes! Which sucks, because it came from a fucking episode that had horrible storytelling. How the hell are you going to tell me we have great storytelling in an episode that has no storytelling? We'd show up for a mission, play the new activity, watch a cutscene, call it a fucking act. The act took an hour. We waited 6 weeks for an hour's worth of content. What the fuck, Bungie? But hey, I'll forgive them a little bit because they did introduce to us the Scorgan, because holy shit, that Scorn organ is so much fun. And finally, we have Heresy. The past 3 acts of Heresy went to so. Some weird shit started happening all around the universe, which involved the Dreadnoughts. The Dreadnoughts started setting anchor points that could have dragged the entirety of planets into the fucking into the realm of the Taken, into the Ascendant Plane. Imagine that. We just wake up and all of a sudden, not only is the sun gone, the fucking planet's gone. Oh god, it would have been Season the Splicer all over the hell again. We delve deeper into the mysterious anchor points, only to find out that we figured out where the last Echo is. It's not just an Echo that's been taken over by some random hippie that we don't know about. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The Echo this time has a mind of its own. Apparently, all the other Echoes have. The Echo for episode Echoes was led by some guy named the Kugu. I don't actually even know. He was some sort of chieftain or general from the species called Kugu, a species that was conquered by the Witness and the darkness fucking forever ago. Then, throughout fucking episode Revenant, it was actually known as the Echo of Reese. The Echo of Command for Kugu, the Echo of Reese for Revenant. And unfortunately, the Echo of Reese was just some random fucking fallen. That's all it was. And it apparently gave them the ability to revive dead fallen, to revert them from their Scorn counterparts to their fallen counterparts, and even vice versa, from fallen to Scorn. It created living fucking zombies. That should not be physically fucking possible, yet here the fuck we are. Damn you, Fickroll the Fanatics, you somehow did it. I can't tell if I should be scared, impressed, or shitting myself. And yet here I am, doing all three. But here's the thing. Here's the terrifying thing. What exactly was the Echo of Navigation doing in Heresy? That was a power that I never really got to understand until I realized, oh, that's right. It's just Oryx. So what could Oryx do? You know, he could mass steal an entire population of people. He stole the physical bodies, spirits, and minds of multiple different species within Soul. He had the ability to steal entire planets. Io was actually found out to be within the Act 2 activity, the Court of Blades. And you want to know what the terrifying thing is? That confirms that Io and Mercury, the two planets that are still missing according to Destiny 2 lore, is still out there. The terrifying thought process is, not only are they still out there, they're just in the goddamn Ascendant Plane somehow. And the worst part is we can't find them, we can't get them back here, and we have no capabilities of doing such. Holy fuck, that's terrifying. Anyways, after we find out that the Echo of Navigation is not being controlled by someone, such as Savathun and or her sister Xivu Arath, the gods of trickery and war, we find out that they are planning to manipulate these two bastards to find out if they can somehow use Oryx's abilities for their own purposes. Potentially for Xivu Arath to get back her throne world, and potentially for Savathun to maybe revive someone new like Malak, her son, who is yet to be revived by one of the Lucent Hive ghosts. In the end of the day, we use Eris Morn's new powers. Oh, that's right. She got new powers. How'd she get new powers? Simple. She fucking died. Except not really, because, you know, she was a Hive god for all of 15 seconds at one point. So she died, had her own throne world. We tethered the Echo to her throne world. Echo Oryx was not happy about this, but holy fuck, I can't even be mad or annoyed with this motherfucker. The voice actor for Echo Oryx did such an amazing job at just being fucking awesome. Good job to that son of a bitch. Unfortunately for us, Xivu Arath and Savathun called an all-out war trying to claim territory for the Dreadnought, rip Oryx out of the fucking throne world for Eris Morn. Sorry, I'm getting my words jumbled up. My head's kind of losing oxygen the more I keep talking. But in the end of the fucking day, Oryx does break free, and unfortunately we don't find a way to find out how if we can separate the memory of Oryx away from the Echo. Because if we can find a way to harvest the Echo's powers, we could revert the taken problem all throughout the Land of Soul. We could reverse all the damage done via the Witness and via the Darkness. We could bring Io and Mercury back, but instead, Oryx breaks free, and we have no choice but to kill him, which causes Xivu Arath to remain without a throne world in her most powerful and weak state at the exact same time. Savathun is now immeasurably pissed off with us, and we just kind of sit there and think to ourselves, welp, we just killed that son of a bitch again. Like we always do. We find a way to keep killing the same motherfuckers over and over again. I need to make like a tier list of how many times we've killed the same son of a bitch over and over again. Holy fuck. Which just sucks, because I just did some research and I found out, what was the guy I said earlier? Malak? Yeah, the son of Savathun. Yeah, we only killed him once. I could have sworn we killed that bastard more than once. Apparently not. Apparently the hell not. But in the process of this entire episode, we've gotten multiple different activities. Our brand new roguelike activity called the Nether, which had two variations to it. One was which was more of an exploration type of Nether, and the other one was more of a multiplayer go in, cash grab, kind of get the fuck out type of vibe. You had 3 rounds to get in, find activities, learn the secrets of this new decaying dreadnought, and get rewarded and get the fuck out. Then we had Act 2's activity, which was the Court of Blades, which was intended to be, hey, if you didn't like how long Nether took you, congratulations, this one will take you faster amount of time, won't take you half as long, and will be just as equally fucking rewarding. And frankly, in my eyes, I liked it. I really did enjoy it. Court of Blades and the Nether are going to be both activities that I genuinely see myself replaying continuously. More or less Court of Blades, less and less the Nether. And then finally, for Act 3, we got ourselves a strike. Now, I'll admit, replaying a strike a couple times overboard, felt a little bit annoying, but I'm not going to complain about it too much because, god damn it, getting our hands on that beloved, beautiful strike, that son of a bitch from Destiny 1, that good old returning motherfucker that just made it an absolute problem for everyone out there, the sunless motherfucking cell. The sunless cell was the definition of kick you in the teeth and then stomp your balls. And that was in Destiny 1. Bringing it back in Destiny 2 when we feel like overpowered gods, I sat there and thought to myself, wow, there's no way this could be a problem, right? Yeah, the strike by itself, easy. The strike on Grandmaster difficulty, holy shit! I regret so fucking much in life, and that has now made the top of the fucking list. Holy fuck, that shit brought back PTSD I never knew existed. But yeah, overall, the relative story for Heresy, as well as the activities, actually felt amazing and great. This entire episode was exactly what the community wanted after the past two relative flops in terms of likability, replayability, and rewardingness in terms of episodes. Whereas Echoes was equally rewarding and gave us variability in terms of its story mode and activities, the ending was just such a sour punch to the gut, no one really liked it. Especially after the cinematic success that was the final shape, we weren't necessarily asking for a final shape level quality of an endgame story mode, but it didn't really live up to even normal endgame story modes. Don't get me wrong, I personally enjoyed the hell out of Echoes, I love its activities, I really appreciated its weapons, and it's the last episode that gave us craftable weapons. So, to be frankly honest with you guys, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I can't argue about Echoes. The loot was inspiring, the story mode and gameplays was genuinely fun and grindable, and at the end of the day, sure, the ending was not exactly the most amazing, but everything else everything else leading up to the ending made it rather enjoyable and rather fun. Was the ending a slap to the face? Yes. Was it still fun all the way up to that slap to the face? Also yes. Which is a different story comparative to Revenant. Revenant felt like a flop because it barely had any form of grind, any form of actual effort put into it. It somehow feels like that one goddamn DLC that just basically said, you know what, let's do none of the good stuff that makes a Destiny 2 DLC. It feels like they were rushing this DLC so that way they can work on the better stuff for other DLCs. And how can I fucking blame them? At the beginning of Act 1, they basically gave us the Nether Explorer, which was a solo theme activity with more revives, more difficulty. And then they had the Nether, which was allowing you to play with other people and matchmake and go in and just have an absolute fucking blast. But not only that, they gave us the ability of having our own little apartment for Eris Morn, which gave us back Season of the Arrivals themed remaster weapons with new perks and new masterworks. Lovely. And it also basically just said, hey, not only are we going to give you a new vendor, we're going to give you two new vendors. With your Harden of the Resolve, as well as your with the brand new fucking Revender, the Shaping Slab. And the Shaping Slab was terrifying. Do you want resolve or do you want hatred? Do you want something that'll make you more terrifying or do you want something that'll just make you a lot tougher than it should? This goddamn thing was the definition of basically we're going to change up your gameplay for both activities, the Nether and the Court of Blades. You thought this thing was going to be simple and easy? Fuck no. You can go from calm, pessimistic build to aggressive and distant. It made no fucking sense, and I fully fucking supported it. And the absolute grind to get two different things up at the exact same time, loved it. Even though I haven't fully upgraded this goddamn thing, I can't even be mad about it. Grinding for the activities in this goddamn episode was absolutely a blast, and I will say I'm almost sad because the more I keep acknowledging Bungie's little trend for what activities they'll be keeping and what activities they won't be keeping, it's very disappointing to know that there's probably not a lot of missions from this episode they will be keeping. If anyone does not know what the fuck I'm talking about, Bungie, in the past, has had a record of keeping certain activities and ditching others when it comes to the end of the year content vaulting. Such activities can involve the Onslaught playlist, such activities can involve exotic missions and strikes. Now, out of everything that's come out during the events of the final shape, we have gotten 3 exotic missions, a whole set of battleground strikes, 3 battleground strikes, 3 brand new Onslaught maps with multiple different new enemies and new finalized bosses, but unfortunately for Heresy, we only get 1 new strike that actually follows that, along with 1 exotic mission, whereas Echoes will be keeping almost over half of their stuff. Unfortunately, it sucks to say, but that will not be happening for Heresy, which sucks because that seems to be the more favored episode of them all. Again, I will be saying this again, out of Breach Arena Executable, Enigma Protocol, and the Battlegrounds Echoes, and the Encore mission, episode Echoes will probably be keeping Encore and the Battlegrounds Echoes. When it comes to Revenant, it will probably be keeping the Onslaught playlist and the Kel's Fall exotic mission. As for Tomb of the Elders and Kel's Vengeance, it will probably be ditching these two. And sadly for... sadly for the events of Heresy, it seems that we'll be keeping the Derealize exotic mission and the Sunless Cell, and that seems to be it. We will not be keeping the Nether nor the Court of Blades. Which sucks because both of these activities allow us to actually truly free roam the events of the new and improved and slightly decaying and slightly dusty and cobwebbed up. You know, just new but old. Old-fashioned yet new. Dreadnought. And I don't really know what else to say about that. This episode has been an absolute blast, allowing us to explore new worlds like Eris Morn's apartment, all up to our own access to her throne world, which allowed us to get full, beautiful fucking view of the Echo of Navigation before unfortunately had to die. We get a new facial and amazing new model from Eris Morn herself, which looks terrifying. Oh, that is creepy beyond all belief. Fun fact, if you actually go to the moon and talk to Eris there, you can actually see that she has this exact same model on the moon, which is, by all means, not what I was prepared to see. The story mode felt a little bit abruptly ended at the very end because instead of our normal 3 weeks of content, they ended it off at 2 weeks of content, which felt at least a tad bit rushed, but it did not feel incomplete because its story did come to a relative end. The loot from this entire episode feels amazing. I personally love the auto rifle. I personally love the Psycho Chomp grenade launcher. The heavy machine gun just feels so goddamn right. And I'm sorry, a sword made out of bones? Ah, love it! And finally, how can we not wrap this episode up without talking about its incredible, beautiful, and amazing exotics? The Baro Diad was hands down a very weird exotic. I remember everyone talking about this thing saying it wasn't the best, it was kind of bad, it was whatever. And then they came out with the ability to harden your resolve and swap between the different vendors within Eris's apartment. Look at this thing. It gets slightly more taken every time you swap from the shaping slab of resolve. I love that. I love that each and every time. To the shaping slab of ambition. It's beautiful. It's beautiful every goddamn time. I love it. Absolutely love it. This episode has left me in awe and absolute disbelief for the power that Bungie has when it comes to their games. I am amazed by what they aim to do each and every time. A decaying Dreadnought is an environment I wish we could keep in the game, but unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to access most, if not a large sum of it. Don't get me wrong, the fact that we're going to be getting access to the Sunless Cell Strike will still be amazing. The fact that we will be keeping access, hopefully, to the Derealize exotic mission will still also be just as equally awesome. The new item that allowed us to grind for stuff called the Tome of Want was an interesting concept in order to grind for specific rolled stuff, but a lot better than the tonic capsule, which sucks because I kind of like the concept of the tonics, having to buy specific ingredients just to build up which tonic you wanted. Some of it got you ingredients or boosts, damage upgrades, allowed you to create stuff like orbs of power, just additional stuff that can help you throughout encounters, and just allowed you to pick through specific weapons of whatever the hell you wanted, and armor pieces too. But I will say, I genuinely like the Tome of Want just a tad bit more, just because overall it was a lot more simplistic system, especially since all it really just said was, you know what, fuck it. Let's give the characters exactly what they want. Do you want the arms, the legs, world armor, episodic armor? Hell, do you want Heresy armor? Do you want Court of Blades armor? We'll specify it down to the very goddamn exotics you want. And I liked it. It was a good way to start off everything. Especially with how damn terrifying this looks. And the background lore. Oh my god, I love it. I apologize. I had to take a sip of some water. So for anyone who does not know whatever the hell it is I'm talking about, each and every episode and each and every story and each and every DLC of Destiny 2, they have 3 major stories. The primary story, which is what the game is visually showing you, be it the main DLC, be it the cinematics, be it everything that they're presenting to you up front and personal. Then there's the secondary story, which is the small details that happen in the background. They could be environmental changes, they could be small, subtle changes within the lore. They could be something that the game shows us, but we have no direct answer to. A great example of this is during the events of Season of the Dawn, where we had the Old Man speech, or I believe that was the Season of the Worthy. Either way, it was the cutscene where Osiris confronted Rasputin, calling him an old man and a tyrant, questioning him as to where some type of object was. And then we have the background lore. The background lore, the background story, is basically the events that happen, specifically more likely in the lore cards or in keen details that only gets mentioned once, whereas we have to figure out whatever the hell happened. A great example of this can also be found in the Vespers Host dungeon as well as the Sunder Doctrine. In the Vespers Host dungeon, throughout the Vespers Host dungeon, you can actually find key details as to what actually happened there. In the lore cards and the armor tabs and all that type of stuff, you can figure out that something was being detained within the Vespers Host dungeon, and unfortunately it caused all the Fallen to be consumed and become some sort of hive mind. Not a literal hive like the alien species, but literally just some sort of colony. They're all sharing the same wavelength. They're all sharing the same thought process. Whatever the hell the monster is at the very end of the Vespers Host dungeon, it is not Atrax 1 from the Deepstone Crypt raid. I assure you that. That is all the background lore. We also got a constant idea of what actually happens within it the more messages you receive from Vesper Station. We actually get a guaranteed message of whatever the hell happened during the process of the Vespers Host dungeon, which was from, in fact, none other than the brand new character that will be released during the Edge of Fate DLC, Lodi. Lodi has actually been mentioned since Vespers Host. We are aware of him, we just did not know who he was or how important he was. Another great example of the power that we now hold is also in the Sunder Doctrine dungeon. At the very end of the questline, if you unlocked the very last vault, within the vault of Rolk's Pyramid in the Sunder Doctrine, we find the massive chisel that Oryx used in order to create the Tablets of Ruin, which means not only do we have access to the tablet, to the power of the Taken, but we can now forge upon the same level of power that Oryx once did. And using intrepid clues on the designs of the chisel, it looks almost as if it itself was made out of Ahamkara body bits and pieces and skulls. And because of the lore that we learned from Oryx versus his battle from Akka, it is inferred that he killed Akka and used his body to create the chisel, which is very apparent throughout the Sunder Doctrine that the worms have some sort of play within the pyramid. Because of this, the last code to open up the vault is Worm Give Guardian. The worm is giving us something. The worm gave us the chisel. The worm gave us the ability to carve our own Tablets of Ruin. The worm gave us the ability to take. Which means evidently, if we can master this, we could find a way to unmake the Taken. A bunch of lore that we would not have had if it weren't for background information. Then again, that is at the very end of the Sunder Doctrine dungeon, so technically speaking, that could be considered secondary storyline. It's very weird. It's very weird however you want to look at it, because technically speaking, the Sunder Doctrine storyline has nothing to do with the episode Heresy stuff. It very rarely does. The dungeon feels like it's a secondary story versus the Heresy story itself feels like it's the main story. It's very hard to explain all this. It's very technical. It's very trippy. In the end of the day, it all pushes the content and the universe forward for Destiny, but it just kind of makes it a tad bit more hard and complicated to explain. Similar to after the events of Season of Arrivals, when Callus was still an apparent character in the universe, even though the Leviathan had left Nessus. Very weird thing to have to explain to people. But at the end of the day, the only problems I really had with the events of Heresy was the fact that, really, the ending just felt abrupt. It felt out of nowhere. Outside of that, everything felt amazing. The Tome of Want was beautiful. The story did not feel interrupted or stupid or unquestionably weird. Sorry, Revenant, but you had no grind to you whatsoever. And Echoes, you had an unsatisfactory ending. As much as it felt weird to be abruptly ended at the very second week of Act 3, I still have to say I loved the ending for this episode. Honestly, this has been the best episode out of the 3. The activities are replayable. The Nether, to me personally, feels way too long of an activity, but it makes me happy that they actually give something like the Court of Blades. The Nether is still fun. The Derealized Exotic Mission is really interesting, and I genuinely like it. And for the love of fucking God, Court of Blades and Sunless Cell are a genuine pleasure to be taking part of each and every goddamn day, the longer that this episode remains in-game. So overall, 9 out of 10. No, 9.5 out of 10 would take again. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for now. I'll see you, Legends of Players, in the next video. Bye-bye!